my kinda boyfriend, there was another girl, and I just feel really unwanted and unloved and unworthy. What should I do? Break up? Get away from him? Honestly, like, I can only, talk from, like, the way I'm feeling about stuff like this. Everybody's different. But if I'm not first choice, I'm not even going to get started with you. If I'm not gonna be the one, then we're done. Cause that shit hurts. And especially when you just feel unwanted and unloved, unworthy. If that's how the other person's making you feel, leave. I know we all want to be like loved, and it's a nice feeling to have somebody, and especially if you can get a little like physical with somebody. We all enjoy being held and stuff like that, so I get it, but that is not worth the pain behind it, because when you keep that space occupied with somebody who treats you like that, you keep it occupied so nobody else can come in and take that spot, right? So let him go. Let's say somebody falls in love with another person after you. What should you do? And I'd say leave. Because if they really liked you, they wouldn't have fallen for the other one. So, yeah, it's not easy at all, but in the like long term, and that's the thing, we tend to only go for like the short term, and like we want the quick pleasure and just to feel good immediately. But especially when it comes to relationships, that's a commitment. And relationships, I mean, they aren't just for fun. You're trying to build something with somebody. So, looking at it long term, I'd say no. I'd rather stay alone and work on myself in the meantime, and then attract somebody better. Maybe listen to my audio, The Good in Breaking Up. That pretty much explains it. My boyfriend's not even talking to me, then why are you with him? I love him so much and I'm so scared. It's attachment, you guys. It's attachment. Love is a commitment. And usually what's keeping people away from breaking up with one another, even though that would be the right thing to do, is the attachment. It's just how you make each other feel. That's why some people stay in abusive relationships where they even like get hit in the face, because it's like, but like they're all right when they're like not doing all these things. Yeah, but like that shit doesn't matter. You don't deserve to suffer. So don't make yourself suffer. Everybody's just scared to be alone because they're not even okay with themselves. Because when they're alone with themselves, they literally feel lonely. It's like it all starts with you. Everything starts with you. Even the relationship you have with other people starts with you. So, if you're not right, if the relationship you have with yourself isn't right, then everything else with other people isn't going to be right either, because you're always projecting, and you're also their mirror. I've been with my boyfriend for 8 months. I was with my ex for 15 months, and we decided to let go, even though we absolutely loved each other and we were in love when we broke up, but we knew it was the right thing to do. So I had to learn to let somebody go that I loved with all my heart, but in the end, like it was the right thing to do. It was the best thing to ever happen to me. And that's what I'm saying now. It's almost been a year. And now, like almost a year later, I say it's probably the greatest thing to happen to me. And being with her felt amazing. And I've never felt so loved, and nobody gave me ever that much attention. And obviously I've never been in a serious relationship before. That means she was my first girlfriend, right? But we had to look at it long term, and it just wasn't working out. So we both had to let go and learn to unlove each other. which happened. The one you're looking for is you. So, you know, it's what some people don't get though. He won't even talk to me unless he's bored. Yeah, but like, why are you letting somebody, you know, treat you that way? Why are you letting somebody do that to you? You know, you have to take full responsibility for that. Because if you let people in, you let people in. If you just say no, it's no. But you're letting somebody else do that to you by saying yes and letting them in. So I'm sorry, but like, we're all responsible for our own shit. You are the creator of your own reality. So I think you're an introvert. I'm an ambivert. I used to be really, really introverted because I was scared of people. Because I would only feel like all of this like hate, right? And I was completely alienated. I didn't have friends. I was just alone all the time. I didn't have anybody. So I was scared of people. And that's why I was absolutely introverted. But I love people and I love going out. But like, I'm an ambivert. An ambivert is somebody like, I'm extroverted, but only like it depends on like the location and the people around. And but I can also be introverted and I like to spend time alone, absolutely. But I love people, yo. You never left because you don't want her to be alone, you know, but that's like her thing. You shouldn't like, if you feel threatened, if you're scared to stay at home, don't ever, you know, don't ever suffer for somebody else, no matter who it is. Don't make yourself suffer for somebody else just because she's gonna be alone. That's her problem. But you don't have to get all fucked up and shit because of the shit she's doing and you're just gonna stay because she's gonna be alone. Like, no, you have to, sometimes you have to put yourself first, and that is a great situation where you should absolutely put yourself first. Like 100%. And sometimes it's okay to be selfish, and it's okay to say no to certain meetings and to not go to a party or whatever, because if it drains your energy, that's just how it is. You should take care of yourself. Of course your mom doesn't listen, but you know, that's like, you can't change people. And I had to accept that too with my parents. You can't change people, but you can always change yourself. That's who you have power over, yourself. Everything that you need is inside of you. So at this point, of course, like, I get it and I'm there too. Like, I'm learning to not even have what my parents are saying have an effect on me. And like, I'm learning to just live my life, you know, and stand in my own power and just do whatever the fuck I want to do. Um so you have to learn that. You have to become your own best friend first, yo. No one wants to hear about my problem, so I started to write about it. Maybe writing could help you. Keeping a diary or a journal, you know, is powerful stuff. Because, yeah, nobody gives a fuck about you. Like, I don't mean that in a mean way. Because nobody gives a fuck about me either, or gave a fuck about me either. You know, there are gonna be people who come into your life who are absolutely going to give a fuck. And I give a fuck too. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm doing this. Like, don't get me wrong. But even if you have friends, to some of them, you can't talk about stuff like that because they only care about themselves. And it's only about status and all this superficial shit. That's just how it is. So, yeah, there are always going to be people who really don't give a fuck about you. And journaling is a great way of just letting out what you've kept inside, but it's also, you know, a great way to then like learn from it and to reflect and to become your own best friend. So that's actually great. Of course, sometimes it's better to be alone. There is nothing, listen, if you like the person you're alone with, talking about yourself, you're never really lonely. Yet, humans aren't created to be alone. So I get it. Eventually you just crave it. You just want somebody to like listen to you. You want to, like, you miss hugging somebody. I get it. But, you can go periods of time with just being alone and being completely fine. And it is super important for your growth. Trust that. I can't even talk to my friends about what I'm going through because I'm scared they will judge me and leave me. Well, then that would mean that they're not really your friends. The question is, so are you going to risk it? Are you going to talk about it? And maybe your friends are true friends and they listen to you and they're there for you? Or are you going to tell them and they're eventually going to leave? Then you're going to be alone and it's going to hurt. But I'd rather be alone and have it hurt a little, like sting a little bit, than to be with some, like, sorry, superficial bitches who actually don't even give a fuck about me. I'm not about that superficial stuff. Like, humans are way too interesting for that. And people should risk being alone more often than being with stupid ass people like that, because those people, they're not good for you. They only drain you. It's like you're wasting time. It's the short-term pleasure, to have somebody to spend some time with and to do stuff with, and it's like, if you just keep being with people like that, you're keeping the space occupied, and the people who are really supposed to be in your life, who are going to be there even when you're going through your shittiest days, they can't come in if you keep that space occupied. But that's what that's teaching you anyway. Eventually, trust me, like, those superficial people, they're not always going to be there. Yet everybody's so scared to lose them. Like, lose them. Get fucking rid of them if they are like that. Get rid of them. There's no such thing as a healer who just heals people. What a healer does is make you realize the only healing powers you have within yourself. Because, listen, and I've said this a million times in basically every live stream, I can, say on the internet whatever the fuck I want. And no matter what I say, it's not going to matter unless you make it matter. I could literally be Buddha and, like, tell you the most positive shit ever, right? And you could still be miserable, It doesn't matter what anybody says. Doesn't matter what I say. Doesn't matter what bullies say. Doesn't matter what anybody says, unless you make it matter. You give everything power, and you also have the power to heal yourself. So, yes, you can absolutely comfort your friends, but in terms of healing, they have to do that themselves. You can be there, but you can't do it for them. That's just how it is. She told you to be happy? Yeah, great, right? Absolutely. Like, me, like, I know how it is. I mean, I suffered from panic attacks, and I still have the occasional meetup with anxiety. And enough people told me to just be happy, to just chill, right? Like, thank you. Oh, I'm healed. It's gone. Why didn't I think of that earlier, right? Wow, just chill, right? Just be happy. Yeah, like, it doesn't work like that. And again, sometimes you're looking for the comfort in other people, absolutely. And sometimes we look for answers in other people, but you're never gonna find them there. Anxiety, depression, the answers, everything here, yo, it's in you. And I know sometimes we want our parents to be there. But if there's one thing I learned, it's to be okay even without your parents. Because I had to. And that's some powerful shit, and that's what I'm learning right now, and it's really powerful because you learn to trust yourself more, and that is so important, because in the end, you only have yourself. You come in here by yourself, you go out by yourself. You can't take anybody with you. You can't even take your body with you. You only have you. So learn to, like, count on yourself. And all the answers you find within. Everything is triggered by something that traumatized you. People say happy is a decision, because it is. Happiness is a choice. But it's something in your life that shines or comforts you. I have depression, it's hard to be happy. when someone or something good happens, take it to heart. Like okay, so happiness, it really is a choice. And you say it's hard to be happy. Guess what? When you say it's hard to be happy and you actually feel that way, if that's your belief, it's like you're putting it out into the universe. Okay? And putting that stuff out into the universe, like intention and like what you believe, you put it out and you tell the universe that it's basically like ordering something on Amazon. You're going to get it. So if you say life is hard and you really believe that, guess what? Life's gonna be hard, yo. The universe doesn't want to give that to you because you're not supposed to suffer. But you are choosing that. Now, the cool part about beliefs and like habits and stuff like that, they're changeable. You can change your thinking. You just have to put the work in, you know. You know what this is? Post-it notes with positive affirmations. Watch my videos, yo. Watch all of them. Especially 5 tips on how to live a more positive life. That might help. And then like you really have to be committed to your growth. You have to commit to getting better. But you can get out of that. Everybody can. Everybody's like, yo, depression is this mental illness. And like my aunt literally said to me, yo, depression is like something that when you have it, you never get out of it. Like it never truly goes away. And I looked at her and I was like, I am so deeply saddened that you feel that way. But it's like I've been through 8 years of depression and I'm not depressed. I've never looked at depression as an illness. I never even, no, I did not accept that. Because it's not something you take like some meds for and it goes away. Because what the meds do, and I've been on meds because I was in a mental hospital for 4 weeks because I checked myself in because of panic attacks, if you didn't know. And they put me on meds for 2 weeks. And I wasn't myself. All of a sudden, like that just scared me. Like it literally scared me because I'm not depressed, right? And all of a sudden, completely unexpected out of left field, I got this thought of kill yourself. And I was like, whoa, like I got goosebumps because that's not what I believe. And that is not me, not anymore. And all of a sudden, I was like, kill yourself. I was like, oh my God, I need to get off of this stuff, like ASAP. So I talked to the doctor and I told him, yo, I was better without them. I will just learn how to like cope and get better without this shit. But that was fucking scary. You know, and depression, like there's no medicine for that. Like the way to heal it is inside of you. Everything is inside of you, God. And depression is absolutely something that can disappear forever. So, like, I just want people to look at it in a different way because you're not sick. You're not sick. Stop telling yourself that you're sick. You know why people believe that they're sick? Because everybody's looking for answers outside of themselves, something to comfort them, right? And it's like, yo, what's up with me? And it's like, yo, you have a mental illness. You're depressed. Oh God, now I know what it is. But yet, like, it's like, then I will just learn to live with it, right? Like, it's just, that's just how it is. Depression is, you're in deep rest, you're tired. You're tired of who you've been portraying to be. Look at this world. Everybody's tired because everybody's putting on masks, because everybody's scared they're gonna get judged and whatnot. And nobody likes themselves. Or barely people do. The world, the way it is a reflection of our inner state. Everything is a reflection. So it's not that the world is fucked up, it's that everybody is like in deep rest and everybody's like fucked up inside and traumatized and they don't know what to do. And we put like these stamps on us, yo, at least now I know what it is, right? No, you're not. Or maybe you are. But it's not forever unless you believe it to be. And that's just some real shit. I have a friend and she screwed me up so many times and I don't need her in my life, but I don't know how to let her go and I've tried let her go and I always go back how do I let her go? First of all, you're holding a grudge. You're like, I have a friend and she screwed me up so many times. Nuh-uh. You screwed yourself up. Because you allowed her to screw you over again and again and again and again. That's you. I don't need her in my life. Okay, great that you realize that. You don't know how to let go because you're attached. Because you're scared that if you let your friend go, you're gonna be alone. You won't have anybody, like nobody else is gonna come around. You're just gonna be lonely and miserable. And like life sucks without friends, yo. Right? You're gonna let go once you're number one, really, really actually fucking sick and tired of what she's like doing and like how she makes you feel. And then number two, when you put the work into yourself. That's the thing. You know why people are just stay depressed? You know why people stay with their anxiety? And they look for like answers around them and stuff to comfort them because they're not tired enough. I get it. I held to things on way longer than I needed to. And I made myself suffer and I forgave myself for that. That's the thing. You have to forgive yourself for all of this shit. But to forgive yourself, to even get to that point, you have to be honest with yourself. And you have to spend time alone. And you have to sit down with yourself and really ask yourself, how you doing? And like, honestly, how are you? And you're gonna get an answer. And it won't be good. And that's okay. But like, you have to get there first to get better, you know? And it's like, people don't want to put in the energy into that work because, look, this is why I feel depressed people are the most powerful people on this planet and have the most potential, right? They're the strongest. Depressed people, yo, some people are like, I've been depressed for 15 years. And like, I'm suicidal. And I'm like, but you've been holding on. You've been dragging yourself for 15 years. Do you know how fast you could have gotten out of it if you would have just directed all that energy into actually getting better? Like, if you would have turned the energy within instead of looking around you? Do you know you could have been out of depression like 10 years ago? You make yourself suffer. And it's like, you just have to change direction with your energy. Instead of looking outside, you have to look inside. And then it's like people go to see therapists and they've been gone to therapists for years. And yet they don't seem to get better. Because guess what? Even at a therapist, you can put on a mask and not be honest. You know, and you can, like, when a therapist is actually finding something and you feel this resistance, you're like, no, that's not the truth. Even a therapist can only help you when you're being honest. And people are so scared to be honest and to admit to just where they are. And it's okay to not be okay, but you have to be honest first. You have to be honest with where you're standing. And if you hit rock bottom and you're at rock bottom or even dug yourself a hole 20 feet below, then that's how it is. But you have to be honest to get back up, you know, to build something new on that foundation. My problem is if my friends are sad or depressed, I take that energy from them and then put it on me and think, why do I do this? And honestly, I don't know, why do I care for them too much? Because you're an empath. Do you even know what that is? There's such a thing as empathy, and you're probably an empath. You're really sensitive to other people's energies. I'm really sensitive too. I'm an empath. I'm so sensitive, I can't watch horror movies anymore. I don't know, like, I was at my aunt's place and we started watching something that is like about some cult or whatever, and like it's 9 hours long, and we watched for like the first 2.5 hours, and I literally felt sick to my stomach. I got dizzy. I felt like I was gonna throw up. Like my heart space was like, it hurt. I was like, oh my God, this is so heavy. Or like I used to be like I used to wait tables, right? I was a waiter. And I pick up on people's energies quick. And all of a sudden I was standing there. I was like drying this glass, right? I was standing behind the bar. I was bartending for that day. And all of a sudden I couldn't, I felt like I couldn't breathe. I was like, yo, what is up? And then I looked to my left, and like this old lady came in and she had like an oxygen mask, this oxygen tank with her. And I was like, oh my God, I can literally feel her energy. I can literally feel how she can't breathe. So you're an empath. There are enough videos on empathy and how you can also protect your energy. First thing to do, definitely tell yourself that it is not your energy. Not your energy. Most of the time, I'd say pretty much 80% of the time, the way you're acting and the way you're feeling is not even your energy. Because everybody's like wearing masks. Everybody's not themselves. That's why usually it's other people's influence and energy. That's why it's literally true. The top 5 people you spend the most time with have the most influence on you, and you basically are like them. The top 5 people. That's how much influence people have on you. Subconsciously. It's not even, sometimes it's consciously. We let people have an influence on you and on us, and then it's also subconsciously. Like you don't even realize. Like just for example, you make a new friend or you meet somebody new and they say a word or two and you're like, oh, that's so cool. And all of a sudden you start using their words. You've been influenced. Now that may be something fun, when you start talking like them, like using those words, but you've been influenced. Just like that. You're an empath, Sugarfoot. And if you ask me, being sensitive is a superpower. Because like me, people can't lie to me. You can't lie to me. Because I feel it that you're lying. I always get to know the truth. You can't hide from me. That's also why it's like if like I got a friend or whatever and I'm like, how are you? And they're like, I'm good. I'm like, but really, like, how are you? It's like you can't lie to me. Because like I understand people. I know people. Do you know how empathic I am? Like even the streams, like so much energy within me is generated that like I turn really, really warm and red. It takes a lot of energy. Anything that is beautiful, people want to break. Even though I've never seen you in person, you seem like a kind and thoughtful person. They're insecure about themselves, so they target other people. Yeah, the thing is, anything that is beautiful, people want to break. It's on you to not let it break you. I literally do not care about negative comments because I know who I am. And I know what I'm doing and the value I bring to some people. And those people who even like tell me some negative shit or whatever, they're just projecting. I understand. That's the thing. Once you know that everything others do has nothing to do with you, has everything to do with them, you start to just be so understanding of why others do stuff, and you just start to immediately forgive. And that it is a good thing. But like you're so understanding, you understand everything. Why people do it. You understand.